Welcome to Greece. Join me as I zoom through this amazing land to meet its people and places. I invite you to discover, admire, breathe in and savor with me the best of Greece. Let us zoom through this beautiful country seated at the southern tip of the Balkans, made entirely of peninsulas and islands. It looks to me like made with artificial intelligence programs with the instructions of using white and blue as a color palette. Otherwise, how do you explain that everything is pristine white and all shades of blue, including their flag? While we zoom through Greece, I'll show you a couple of cities, 19 UNESCO World Heritage Sites, a few mountains, its most famous islands, and I'll introduce you to a few of my friends. Let's go! I have to start with Athens, a capital with a pretty name, and one of the most recognizable historic sites on Earth, the Acropolis. Built upon the buried remains of previous temples on the mount, what stands today of the Acropolis dates back to the 400s BC, from Pericles' times called the Golden Age of Athens, including the Parthenon, the Propylaeum Gate, the Temple of Athena Nike, the Temple of Erechtheion, and many other sacred precincts dedicated to Greek mythology figures I'll present to you in a bit. Among these stands out the famous Porch of the Maidens, or Carotid Balcony. Thessaloniki, named after sister of Alexander the Great, is the second largest city located in the northern Macedonian region of Greece and the port on the Aegean Sea, a city with a famous university, a lot of festivals, and known a bit as a party town. It has numerous Christian and Byzantine churches and historic monuments, collectively declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site for their architectural and artistic value, aside from being mostly intact. Greece is 80% mountains. In the northern Balkan side of Greece, the Pindus Mountains exhibit incredible geographic features, with sharp peaks and deep valleys, canyons and gorges. Two gorges are among the greatest in Europe, the Eos and the Vikos Gorge, belonging together to a national park open to visitors. The highest mountain in Greece is Mount Olympus, standing tall at about 3,000 meters. It is the home of the Greek gods, also known as Olympian gods. Let me introduce you to the 12 quickly, the so-called Dodecathion, before we move farther south. The rulers of the lot were Zeus and Hera, siblings and spouses. The remaining 10 are Ares, god of war, Poseidon, god of the sea, Athena, goddess of wisdom, Demeter, goddess of fertility, Dionysus, god of wine, Apollo, god of the sun and of the arts, Artemis, goddess of the hunt, Aphrodite, goddess of love, Hephaestus, god of fire, and Hermes, god of travel, my god. Nevertheless, the Greeks mostly prayed to Hestia, a minor goddess of the heart. There are two remarkable UNESCO sites in the mountains, the Meteora Formations and Mount Athos, both known for their Eastern Orthodox monasteries built upon them. The Meteora Mounds have no less than 24 such monasteries perched on their rock columns, 6 still functioning today. To me, though, what is most intriguing is the way these columns were formed. Their geological strata is vertical, which points at a tectonic plate movement, later eroded by time and weather. Although so far stable, even surviving strong earthquakes, pilgrim access is hindered by dense forests and rigorous safety measures. Mount Athos, strict ecclesiastical monastic community on the Athos Peninsula, is an autonomous region with 20 monasteries and 2,000 Christian Orthodox monks, where women are not allowed in by law and by religion. But tours of the area are available by land and by sea. Going south, following the mountain range, we moved into the Peloponnese, a peninsula or island, as you want to see it, that barely holds on to the mainland, in the vicinity of Athens, from which it is separated by the Isthmus of Corinth, a thin stretch of land cut by a narrow canal with half a dozen bridges. The Peloponnesus region's claim to historic fame are 2 UNESCO World Heritage Sites and Sparta. The Mycenaean, the first great civilization in the area, and 2 of their archaeological sites, the Palace of Mycenae and the Palace of Tiryns, about 4,000 years old, are open to visitors. Sparta is known to everyone, but it is interesting to know that it was an attraction even in antiquity. I read that their women had more rights in Sparta than women anywhere else. Thus, I'm a fan. I imagine Leonidas has even more fans after the movie 300, made about the Battle of Thermopylae and his last hooray with Xerxes. Also in the Peloponnesian region is the famous Delphic oracle of the Pythia priestess at the sanctuary of Apollo, one more of the 19 UNESCO World Heritage Sites I promised to brush upon. I will add here to the list the old town of Corfu, way up north, a charming town located within 3 Venetian forts, on an island in the Adriatic Sea, later rebuilt by the British in neoclassical style as a remarkable Mediterranean fortified port. Off the west coast of the Peloponnese Peninsula, in the Ionian Sea, sits Zakynthos, a stunning island famous for its white cliffs, rock formation, shipwrecks, and pristine beaches, plus some nightlife. Now let's go farther south to Greece's largest island, Crete. The top 4 largest of Greece's inhabited 227 islands being Crete, Evia, Lesbos, and Rhodes. Crete is located 160 kilometers south of the Greek mainland and 100 kilometers west of Turkey, and its capital city is Heraklion. To the east follow the Dodecanese Islands, including Rhodes, and to the northeast the Cyclades, including Santorini. We'll get there soon. Greece has 5 UNESCO geoparks and 3 biosphere reserves, and Crete is home to 4 of these UNESCO nature sites, 2 geoparks and 2 biosphere reserves. The Minoan palaces of Crete, Knossos, Phaistos, Malia, Sapphoros, and Kydonia, are also waitlisted as future World Heritage Sites. Moving west, we get to Rhodes, a name I learned from Agatha Christie's novel Triangle at Rhodes, a Hercule Poirot mystery, and its filmed episode with David Suchet. Sometimes media fathers the fame of a place much more than its historic sites. Rhodes' entire medieval old town is a UNESCO site and a very popular touristic destination, with a remarkable fortress, several castles, and very ancient historic remains dating back to Mycenaean times. The legendary Colossus of Rhodes, a giant statue of Helios, no longer existent today, was one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. Maybe one day a new one will be erected again. Last stop on the tour, before we sit down to eat something, is Santorini. It is the most photographed island of Greece and a pure touristic destination, but not without its history. A striking complex town was unearthed in the 60s at Akrotiri, with multi-story tall buildings filled with frescoes with hot and cold running water, toilets, sophisticated public spaces, workshops and streets about 4,000 to 5,000 years old, later engulfed by volcanic ash around 3,500 years ago. Santorini thus belongs, I believe, on your top 10 things to do in a lifetime bucket list. Greece has an incredible history, sites, and cuisine. But before we go to the latter, let me introduce you to a few acquaintances I've made during my very inquisitive life. Greece's most famous intellectuals. Rarely has one country had so many remarkable figures. Greeks invented theater, Western philosophy, and modern medicine after all. Meet Homer, Sophocles, and Euripides, 3 of its most renowned literary writers, and the poetess Sappho. Meet the legendary historian Herodotus, the philosophers Plato, Socrates, tales of Miletus, Democritus, and Aristotle. And last but not least, Greece's mathematicians, Archimedes, Pythagoras, and Euclid, the physician Hippocrates, and the astronomer Ptolemy. If you study all their works and achievements, you'll inevitably become a genius. And now I'm hungry. I'm just going to quickly load up my favorites. Greece produces tons of my favorite products, so their food is divine. Pistachios, rice, olives, figs, almonds, tomatoes, watermelons, mostly organic, plus cotton and tobacco. Here is what to order. Spanakopita, phyllo pastry with spinach, cheese and egg. Moussaka, eggplant, mashed potatoes and ground meat. Tzatziki, cucumber salad with yogurt and dill. Dolma, stuffed peppers. And sarma, stuffed cabbage or grape leaf rolls, and more. Let us cheer with a shot of ouzo or metaxa and say goodbye until next time. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please don't smash any buttons. Just gently like and subscribe for more. The world is vast and it's all yours. Next time, you might also want to fall in love with this next destination over there. Thank you.